Well, 8 Palestinians have been killed in Israeli drone attacks across Gaza. The strike hit a community kitchen in Deir el-Balah near Al-Aqsa Hospital in the centre of the strip, killing 3 people. It's run by an organisation that serves hot meals to displaced families. Earlier, one person was killed in an attack on a security post in Khan Younis in the south. Well, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has said Israel now controls 60% of Gaza.
We are in Gaza now. Israel is already holding not 50% but 60% of the land. We've been clamping down on Hamas. We know exactly what our mission is, and our mission is to ensure that Gaza will no longer pose a threat to Israel. And we are carrying out this mission with the help of our soldiers, the true heroes, and they are in Lebanon, in Gaza, and in the skies over Tehran.
Well, for more on this, we're going to speak to Tareq Azzoum. He joins us from Gaza City now. And Tareq, how does this Netanyahu statement, how is that resonating with people there in Gaza?
Well, Tom, Gazans understand that Israel is using the so-called yellow line not merely as a ceasefire demarcation, but also as an integral and instrumental tool of long-term control. The line has been progressively moving deeper into Gaza, shrinking the space left available for Palestinians, and while expanding areas under the Israeli military dominance. People here believe that there is another layer that everyone must concentrate on, which is the demographic pressure. People believe that by continuously pushing the yellow demarcation line westward, they will be more compressed into narrower coastal zones, which means that conditions will be created where displacement becomes structural rather than being temporary measure. And that's why analysts and humanitarian agencies are still increasingly warning that the expansion of the so-called yellow demarcation line resembles a slow-motion process of forced spatial re-engineering, where the reality is growing more grim as more and more people have been killed over the past few weeks near the so-called yellow zone without any sort of warning by the Israeli forces who have been deployed near these areas and are still adjusting it consistently on the ground.
And Tareq, the attacks on civilian targets are happening pretty much on a daily basis. There have been more victims in the past 24 hours.
In fact, people here have enough on their plate, and they are still trapped in a grim security quandary as Israel is still scaling up its attacks across Gaza. We can see that given the pace of airstrikes that were conducted over the past 24 hours, many here say that war is regaining momentum despite the current ceasefire that has been described. It only exists on paper, then in reality we saw that several areas came under Israeli attacks across Gaza, and civilian gatherings have been a key tenet of Israel's aerial campaign that targeted lots of people around the territory. We saw that 8 people have been killed over the past 24 hours, dozens were injured, and now they are receiving a treatment in Gaza's barely functional hospitals. But the uncertainty is still growing in Gaza. Israel is still exercising influence over the territory and had set clear and high bar demands regarding Gaza, and we saw that the assassination of top leaders in armed factions and the expansion of the aerial campaigns gives a clear reflection that Israel's fingers remain on the trigger, and which delivers a clear concept that Israel is not interested to deliver a diplomatic concession at this stage as we are approaching to the election date and the negotiations regarding the transition to phase 2 of the ceasefire agreement, and to make the Trump 20-point plan more applicable on the ground seems distant so far, as gaps are still largely not subsided by both sides, and the gap also between goals, means and ends remain vast as well.
Okay, thank you so much, Tareq, as always. Tareq Azzoum for us there in Gaza.